Al-Quadin Muhammad is a defensive end known for his run-stopping abilities, who has a huge opportunity with the news of Sam Williams being injured for the rest of the season. He's a player who spanned the block around the NFL, previously playing for 3 teams before joining the Cowboys. This is undoubtedly a risky signing, given his history of off-the-field issues dating back to his college career at Miami. Multiple suspensions in college contributed to his late draft selection in 2017. Last year, he violated the performance enhancement drug policy, resulting in a 6-game suspension. He didn't even make it to the 53-man roster, spending the entire season on a coach practice squad. While talented, Muhammad presents a significant risk. Muhammad is not an elite athlete, but he is very technically sound and has a non-stop motor. 2021 was absolutely his best season, and I'm sure that the Cowboys are banking on his production from that year. So when you're taking a look at Al-Quadin Muhammad, you'll find that he's 6'3" and weighing in at 250 pounds, a power player who excels at controlling offensive linemen. He fights through contact relentlessly in pursuit of the ball. His film shows great effort as he flies around the football with nonstop energy. So in this play here, we like to see the defensive end effectively gain leverage on his opponent and knocking him off balance. With the defensive end position, every second counts, and even the slightest move can make a significant difference. So on the offensive line, that left tackle and that left guard is going to be blocking their assigned guys, and they're going to be shaking to the left side. That center is going to be pulling to the right. They like to keep guys on the move when it comes down to Lamar Jackson in that offense. And the right guard and the right tackle on the opposite side, they're going to be double teaming that defensive tackle. But locking in on Muhammad, having good leverage and understanding what he's supposed to do to be able to get to Lamar Jackson, this is what you look for when it comes down to that defensive end position in Mike Zimmer's scheme. So we're going to spin the block. So zooming in on Muhammad, you see that these guys are getting off the ball and strikes this left tackle. And the thing is with him, you see that they're extending their arms. He's one of those leverage type of defensive ends, a power player, not that many pass rush moves, but he likes to bully guys. And you see that they clamped on with his right arm and the opponent's left arm. We like to see this when it comes down to the trenches, these guys wrestling it out. And if you can be able to have a player that can get leverage on these guys, this is how you can really make a difference when it comes down to the defensive line. And watching him being able to handicap that left arm and gain the advantage. And playing that defensive end position, you got to be a slick player, not only being powerful, but you have to have a good understanding of what these offensive linemen are trying to do. And the better defensive ends find ways to go out there and finesse these guys. And the thing is with him, he's the type of player that he doesn't do this every single game. If you can have a guy that you can bring in here to sub in for guys like Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence and make these type of plays, this is how he can be able to see the field early on. With Muhammad, he doesn't have many pass rush moves in his arsenal. One thing he does very well, and what the Dallas Cowboys need to utilize him for, is his inside and outside rip moves. He uses this to work his way inside and overpower the opposition, which he has shown consistently on film. So you will see double teams on his rep. That defensive end and that defensive tackle, they're going to be stunting on this rep. But when you're seeing Muhammad being over 250 pounds and lining up against a tight end, that is food when it comes down to a power player like Muhammad, if you put him in the right position. So we're going to run it. So watching these guys getting off the ball, you see the tight end, he has his hands on the outside. And with these big power defensive ends, you see the swim move. They like to keep their hands inside so they can control you. And one thing about Muhammad, I've seen a lot of times on film where he was able to use a quick swim move. I like the physicality. And whenever you can be able to keep your hands in the inside of a player, that's how you can be able to get away from him quickly. And he locks in on a quarterback, and now he's on a hunt. And with this type of player, club moves, rip moves, that is definitely his bread and butter. Kind of sort of how DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons do things as far as that rip move. Not only can he play that left end position, but he can play the right end position as well. The Colts were deploying him on both sides of the field. So you're seeing an inside rip move on the left side as well as the right side. And he was able to get home to the quarterback, Cowboys Nation. Not only can he get after the quarterback with the inside rip move, but he's also solid at using it to stop the run. One of our biggest issues in crucial games was stopping the opposing team's run game. You need guys who will be able to make plays like this, or else it'll open up the opponent's entire playbook. This was definitely a great rep by Muhammad, going out there and blowing off timing. So we'll go and split it. Zooming in on Muhammad, you see that he's attacking inside. And watching that right arm of his, you see that he's ripping in the inside. And with these left tackles and right tackles, sometimes they might overcommit. But if you can force yourself on the island against the running back and go out there and make the tackle, this is fireworks, Cowboys Nation. With Mike Zimmer's defense, you got to have gap integrity. You have to have a good understanding of what this whole offensive line is doing. But if you can use this guy with those quick rip moves in the inside, I believe that he can go out there and make some plays. And not only this play, he did the same thing on this rep as well, being able to rip in the inside. Next thing you know, he clogged everything up and he didn't make the play, but his other players went out there and did a good job. So hopefully the scouts and the coaches, they see all of these plays that I evaluated when it comes down to this player. He's not the Michael Parsons type of rusher, but if he can be a power player, if he can be able to have the ability to be able to stop the run and be physical on that defensive line, it's the only way that you're going to be able to get to where you want to go. So this is definitely one of those reps that we all like to see. Here's a rep where I like Muhammad's foot placement. He's one of those guys you need to assign a blocker to, or he'll disrupt the play immediately. This was definitely a blown play by the offense, and Muhammad read it and took full advantage on his rep. So we'll go ahead and run it. Watching this play here, Muhammad knows that it's a run, but keying in on that right foot of his, you see that he used a quick hop step with his right foot. Every step matters when it comes down to every position on defense. And using the quick hop step is how he was able to close in and get to the running back. And with that type of movement, that cannot be coached. You have to have will, you have to have that grit and determination to go out there and finish these plays. And being with a guy like Michael Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, I'm sure that they'll be able to get this guy ready. It's not going to be sweet for this player. He does have a long track sheet of issues that he was going through throughout his career. But seeing this 2021 season, being able to stop the run and get after the quarterback is great to be able to see it. So Muhammad has had numerous opportunities with various teams throughout his career. While he has experienced some highs, there have been many lows. He possesses the ability to make a significant impact, but he must focus and commit. There are no excuses left for him. It's now or never for this player. So on this final play here, I wanted to see if this guy can be able to set the edge. And looking at his all 22 from the Bears as well as with the Colts, he was doing just that. And with Mike Zimmer's scheme, you have to play with gap integrity, force everything inside, and allow other guys to go out there and make plays. So the offensive line, all of these guys are going to be shading to the left side. That right guard, he's going to try to get down to the second level. It will be a run to the left side, but seeing Muhammad being able to wall off that outside and still get his hands on that running back, it was great to see. So we'll go ahead and run it. So zooming in on Muhammad, you see that he's striking that offensive tackle. And the thing is, you want to make sure that outside shoulder is free. That running back, he could not get to the outside, so he decided to bounce it inside. And usually, when you have a defensive end with his outside shoulder free, he can be able to have leverage and get slippery and get away from the offensive lineman. And that allowed him to be able to get his hands on the running back and make the play. And he was doing that all throughout the 2021 season. You will see that he's sealing the edge because if you can be able to play that kind of clean ball, it allows all the linebackers to go out there and make plays. The Maurice Leofiles, the Eric Kendricks, as well as guys like DeMarvion Overshown, because you want these guys roaming sideline to sideline, the defensive tackles eating up blocks, and the defensive ends going out there and doing their job as well. So it's not going to just come down to the defensive ends. This has to be a collective thing, but they got to go out there and prove it when it matters most. And hopefully guys like Muhammad can make a great impression come preseason. So with a guy like Muhammad, there are no excuses when it comes down to this player. He has spent the block around the league. He has been suspended in college as well as in the NFL, but he has to understand that he is not getting any younger. He still does have talent, but he has to display that on the field in this Mike Zimmer scheme, because when you have guys like Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence with you, that can just make you that much more better of a player. Not only the defensive end position, but these guys got to come together as a unit if they're going to take that next step once we get into the playoffs. So comment below and let me know what you guys think about Al-Quadin Muhammad and if he can be able to take that next step come preseason and make that 53-man roster. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss on fire live streams and the best Cowboys film sessions on YouTube. All right, Cowboys Nation. Talk to y'all soon. Gone.